to finish all of these whips. I love this purple. I think it's just time to let it go. Share a finished project with you guys. The most amazing yarn. I haven't really stuck to it. All the fun colors. It's too late for that now. So yeah, oh my goodness, I have a lot of projects to get done. Today I'm bringing you all of my current whips. This was the video that you guys voted for next in my community feed. All of my current whips was the winner for the next video that I shared on my channel. So here we have got a giant pile of, I think, most of my current whips. I think it's all of them because when I went through my yarn recently, I tried to, if you guys saw the video, then you saw the giant pile of mess that I just went through everything. I think that I either put my whips in bins or in bags. So I think I've got everything here. And if not, if I find a scraggler somewhere, then I most likely will just frog that because it's been out of sight, out of mind for long enough. And I think it's just time to let it go. But I'm excited to dive into these. I've got a lot of garments, which of course is my favorite thing to make. If you guys aren't familiar with the term whip, it just means work in progress. I know that a lot of people are a one project at a time person. I am not really. I enjoy having multiple whips going. I like to have a more complicated one that I'm working on and then something easier that I can do at night if I'm just too tired to think about measurements or intricate stitch patterns. So I like to have a few going. I do have to say that there have been times when I've had too many. Right now might be one of those times. I made a video last year or 2 years ago about my new whip strategy. I wanted to have multiple whips going at one time, but I wanted to start each one already. So one of my biggest problems is when I've finished a project and I want to start something immediately right after, sometimes, you know, there's the whole process of reading through the pattern or figuring out gauge. There are just things that sometimes take longer than you think they're going to. And so instead of being able to start a project right away, you have to kind of check off all these steps first. So my goal was to start several projects and to kind of go ahead and get the tedious part out of the way, whether it be measurements or what size I wanted to make or making a gauge swatch. I wanted to get all of that out of the way first so that I could just pick up any project at any time. Once I finished one, I could go ahead and start another one. So that was my strategy, and I still really like that strategy. I have to say I haven't really stuck to it, but it certainly makes things easier. I'm excited to dive into these, really try to finish up some projects. So first up, we've got this bin right here. This is my La Vie Bohème cardigan. If you have been following along with me for a while, then you probably heard me talk about this cardigan before. It was one of my very first crochet designs, and I have planned on making a pattern ever since for it. It has taken me forever, and I've put it down for long periods of time just because I've gotten frustrated with it, but I still am determined to get the pattern together for you guys, or at least a tutorial here for YouTube. This yarn is Premier, I think, and it's a super chunky yarn, but I cannot even remember the name of it. I'll be sure to link it down below. It's a really nice soft yarn and it's acrylic. The first one I made, I splurged big time on some knit collage yarn. It was my first big splurge with knit collage. I think it was for Christmas or something, and I had all this yarn and I wanted to use it. I got some knit collage and some We Are Knitters. So I combined the two and just kind of went with it. I just made it up as I went along, and I was super excited with how it turned out. I did run out of yarn a couple of times, so I had to make the back really scrappy, but I loved the end result of the back. So this one I used that Premier super chunky yarn, and then I also used a silver thread held together with King Cole Limited. It's a thick and thin yarn. I can't remember the name of it. You know, it has been a long time since you put a project down. You can't even remember the yarn you used. I do think that it's important to keep a tab on your whips, you know, just to know what you're working on. Sometimes if you lay a project down for too long, you forget what size you're making, you forget all of these details. Last year I started writing my projects down. I was so excited to have documented all of that. This year I'm trying to go even further and write notes and make sure, well, everything is fresh on my mind to write that down. I've made a project notebook, so now I'm really determined to stick with it. There have been a couple of times recently that I guess I just didn't write down what size I made, and I usually make the same size. It depends on what the pattern is as to which size I want to make, but I totally forgot what size I was making, and so when I came back to it, I was like, oh, I have to recount this, or I have to look at the measurements. So that was definitely something that was frustrating. I'm hoping that this will just be a more productive year in regards to all of my whips. I want to finish all of these whips in a timely manner, and this is why I am now keeping track track of all of the yarn that I use, the size I make, and all those things. I'm sure I have it written down somewhere, but I just don't know where that is. But I am definitely determined to get this done for you guys. And I think I'm gonna make a cropped version. Maybe I can make a couple of different options. So please hold me accountable. Please ask me, have you gotten that done yet? That will help me remain motivated. And also, if you guys are excited, that helps me a lot too. If it's something that you are excited about making yourself, I really want to get this done for you guys, and I'm really gonna try to get it done this year. Next up, we've got the Mallory sweater. This is actually a free pattern on the Lovecrafts website. And I don't even know when I started this sweater. Probably at least 3 years ago is my guess, because that was long before I was writing down anything about the sweater. I love how it's turning out. I've got the back panel done. I really love the stitch pattern on this sweater. And I had all these beads that I really wanted to use. I thought they were so cute. I really love the way that it's turning out, but it takes forever to get these beads on here. So I was gonna do a few beads at the bottom and then it would become more and more at the top. I think I found some inspiration photos on Pinterest for that. I think I just got tired of putting all these beads on. It's really not that difficult to do, but these beads are so small that it took so long to get each individual bead on there. And so I think I just lost steam with that. This is just acrylic yarn. It's Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. I think in the color Limelight. But I really love the way that it's turning out, and I know I would wear this sweater all the time. So I really want to finish this one. I think I was just going to do beads on the front part of the sweater. I don't think I was going to do any on the sleeves or on the back. Of course, I've already finished the back. I guess it's too late for that now. This is definitely one that I want to finish. Another whip in this bin is my dandelion cardigan. I was making a cardigan out of the dandelion stitch, and I started this like when we first moved here, which it has almost been 5 years now since we moved here. And so y'all, this has been sitting here way too long. I really would like to finish it, but honestly, I just don't know that I will. So I may take this one out and use the yarn for something else. This is We Are Knitters, the cotton in, I think it was the color copper, I believe. I really like the dandelion stitch. If you've never done it, it's a really cool stitch. But I got a sleeve partially done, and then I got this part of the cardigan done that I was going to kind of put on this way. And then I also have a back panel here. I can't remember exactly how I was planning on doing this, but I think it might be time to either rethink this pattern or just take it apart and use it for something else. I'm super excited to share a finished project with you guys. This is the Harley sweater. This was in the Knit Collage Make Along a couple of years ago. I can't remember exactly which one, but I've always loved this sweater and always wanted to make it. I didn't purchase the kit for that sweater during that particular make along, but I always had it in my mind. So I was super excited to use leftover yarn from some of the other make alongs. Also use some of the scraps that I had on hand. I did purchase one extra hank just to add into the sweater, but I was very excited to use up some of this gorgeous yarn. A lot of it is Knit Collage. I've got Knit Collage Spuncloud yarn in Bubblegum Pink and Highlighter, and then Dusty Blue. I think that is all of the Spuncloud colors. And then I've also got some Dreamland and then Daisy Chain. Daisy Chain was the extra hank that I purchased. It was in the color Grand Prismatic, which was so pretty. I loved working with it. Knit Collage Dreamland and Daisy Chain yarn are my absolute favorites because they have adorable flowers and just sparkly goodness in them. I just love them so much. I also used up some of my leftover Premier So Woolly yarn in the color Confetti. It was from my Unicorn Sparkle beanie. I held that together with some Hedgehog fibers in the color Wildcard. My friend Marquita got it for me, and it is the prettiest collection of yellows and oranges and neons, and I love it so much. I did make a pair of socks out of it. It was my first time ever trying Hedgehog fibers, and it is such a pretty colorway. I have some Malabrigo Rasta in here that I held together with some King Cole Limited, and then I actually have some Bernat Forever fleece that has like a recycled yarn held together with it. I've got some of my own batik fabric yarn that I tore into strips and then knitted it in here. I actually have a tutorial for making that fabric yarn. If you want to check it out, I will link it down below. And then I have a teensy bit of melanated boho bay. It is the prettiest shade of pink, and I had to use all of it. I used it in another sweater, but then I had just a teeny bit left over, so I needed to use all of that yarn. I could not waste a single bit of it. And I think that's it for yarns that I used in here, but I'll try to list everything down below and link everything that I can down below. My Harley sweater turned out to be a little bit more cropped than the original version, but I don't think I did any less rows or anything. anything, so I'll have to double check about that. I'll be sure to put the original measurements of the sweater and then what my sweater measurements are right here. My sleeves are a little bit longer. I think I did a couple of extra rows on the sleeves because I just wanted them to really hit my hand, at least hit my thumb. So I made them a little bit longer, which did of course use up a little bit more yarn, but that's okay. Thankfully, the way that Entrelac is designed, you can kind of add in a rectangle or a triangle of a different color. So it's a great way to use some scraps if you have them. The only other adjustment I made was on the neckline. So I was running out of yarn and I really wanted to use the Bubblegum pink on the neckline. And so what I ended up doing was just a crochet slip stitch neckline. I always love the way crochet slip stitch looks on anything. It makes a great border. It makes a great detail. I just love it so much. I did try to do a couple of rounds with the slip stitch in the Bubblegum pink, but I ran out of yarn even doing that. So thankfully I had another color in the Spuncloud that I just did on the bottom, and then the top row I just did the Bubblegum pink. I love that it's kind of a square neckline. When I had tried it on when it was all seamed together on the sides, I was really liking how it was kind of a square. They did in the pattern use just a rib neckline, but I was super excited with how this little slip stitch neckline turned out. I started this sweater in October of 2023. I really wanted to finish it as a part of the fall make along, this most recent fall make along, but I didn't quite finish it. So I started it in October and then I finished just at the beginning of this month. So I'm super excited to be able to wear it for a few more months. It's certainly cold enough here to still wear it. I think it's really cute with high-waisted pants. It would be super cute with a skirt or even over a dress. So I cannot wait to wear this Harley sweater all of the time. So I'll try to put this in my Ravelry projects as well. I've got most of my projects in there. I don't have all of them. Of course, if you have any questions about the pattern, definitely leave it in the comments below. I will put my affiliate link down below if you want to check it out. And it's always easiest, I think, to find things on the Knit Collage website. If you're looking specifically for this pattern, you can just put Harley sweater into the search bar and it'll take you directly to the pattern. So you can purchase just the pattern, or of course you can get the yarn for it too. There's lots of beautiful, beautiful options if you've never been on the Knit Collage website. So I will definitely put my affiliate link down below. The cactus that I used for my Fair Isle tutorial, and I still want to make a pillow for this. That's the plan anyway. I just haven't done that yet, so I should probably add that to my list of things I want to get done. I do have this Fair Isle tutorial on my channel, so I'd love to make a pillow pattern and have it finished for you guys so you could make that pillow too if you wanted to. So this is like a little knit kind of cropped tube-like top that I was going to do the same thing I did here with these I-cords. I actually have a tutorial for how to make these I-cord rainbows. I will link that down below if you want to check it out, but I thought it'd be cute to do a little shirt with some larger I-cord rainbows. So I've got everything here. I should just go ahead and finish this. Y'all, that is the thing. Like, why do you stop right before you're almost finished and then it just sits there forever and ever? Next up, we've got this granny square blanket. If you caught my last video, you probably saw a glimpse of this blanket, and I'm super excited to finish it. One of the things that's kind of put it on hold for me is I want to make the tutorial as I go. So instead of finishing the whole blanket and then making the tutorial, I want to make the tutorial as I go. That way I can have it out for you guys. So that's kind of held me back from continuing on with this blanket, but I definitely want to get going on it very soon because I'm super excited about it. I love making granny squares. And like I mentioned earlier, it's a great project to have at night when you are super tired but still want to crochet or knit. So this is definitely something I want to get going on again very soon. I used Stylecraft Special DK for it, and I had never used this yarn before, but I got it for my birthday, I think last year. I've got a whole yarn haul video if you want to check it out. I'll link it down below. But I got this Stylecraft because I'd always wanted to try Stylecraft, and they have tons and tons of color options in this Special DK. I really like this for an acrylic yarn. It works really well. I really just love all of these colors. Of course, I love a neon, you guys know. So I'm excited to get this blanket going. It will just make me happy every time I look at it, every time I work on it, because of all the fun colors. So keeping on the theme of granny squares, I have this pile of granny squares that I'm pretty sure I had in my last WIP video. Up on my WIP list is this granny square. So yeah, I did start to seam them together. I joined them together with a little neon. I think I slip stitched them together, I believe. Maybe I did single crochet. So I did single crochet these together, and then I just added another little neon accent. So I do like how it looks, but I can't remember exactly what my plan was for these. That's how long ago it was that I was doing this. I may take it apart and start over. I don't know that I love this join. I love the extra neon detail, but I don't love how it pulls the granny squares. And I could get it out in blocking a little bit, but I still think that it might pull. I've got lots of granny squares here, and so I need to just pin down exactly what I want to do with these and just finish it and move on from that. But I do have a tutorial for this particular granny square. It's the boho mosaic granny square. So I've got that on my channel. I'll link it down below if you want to check it out. I will figure out what I want to do with all of these granny squares. Well, my camera battery died, and so I'm gonna have to use my phone for a little bit. I'd like to get a few more projects done. I don't know if I'm gonna get through them all today because I've got several. But next on the list is this wavy crochet sweater. You guys may have seen this in the community feed. I really like the way it's turning out. I'm actually doing a crochet along with my friend Tara. So it's been really fun to do a crochet along together, and I'm really excited to have this sweater finished. I really loved using some of the yarns that were in my stash. I used Paint Box, Cotton DK. I used this lipstick pink here. And then I also used this mustard color. I think this is King Cole cotton that I had left over from my niece's sweater that I made for her. So I'm using that. I've also got this blue. I cannot remember what the color is, but I'll be sure to link it down below. And then on the back here, which I did run out of this, but I was so excited to finally use up all of this because I love this yarn. It's a recycled yarn that I gotten a long time ago from my friend Becca, and it's so cool. This is the back here, and then I have the front almost complete, and then I'll start on the sleeves. This next one I wanted to show you guys, I don't want to show you the full project because I'm going to save this for the Pika Pow video, but I've gotten pretty far on my little project here. I'll just give you a sneak peek there. It's a baby gift. I'm going to do a whole video about this Pika Pow character. I'm making Harry Wolf, but I am making Harry Wolf a fox. I'm excited to get finished with this one. This is also the yarn that I was telling you about, the Stylecraft yarn, the Life DK yarn. So I'll tell you more about that in the Pika Pow video. That will be in a few weeks from now. So that's definitely a work in progress, but it will definitely be finished soon because I have a deadline for it. So I'm excited to finish that one. Let's see if I move forward. I want to see how the lighting, I want to see how the lighting was over here. I don't know that it's that good. Okay, this is a little bit better lighting. So I've just got a few more projects here. This next one is a crochet sweater that I started last year. So I think what I'm going to do is use this orange color for the main part of the sweater. It's actually a pattern from Glorious Crochet Sweaters. I got this book from the thrift store. My mom found it for me, and I'm super excited to have it. This has lots of super cool patterns in it. I think I mentioned it last year. It's actually almost been exactly a year because we were about to go on a road trip, and we're about to go on a road trip again. This has so many cool patterns in it. They are a little bit hard to see, like the graphs and things are a little bit difficult to see. I absolutely love the sweater, and I'm super excited to finish it. It's very warm and cozy, and thankfully here, sweaters you can wear for a long time. Winter is more than half of the year, and so having lots of crocheted and knitted items really works here because I can wear them a lot of the year. So I'm excited that I can work on this and still have an opportunity to wear it, hopefully this year. This is called Vivid, I believe, is this sweater, and this is all worked in one piece, so it just wraps around. It's really cool, like this. Even though this is Glorious Crocheted Sweaters, a lot of these sweaters have knitted brims. No, edging, ribbing. Oh my goodness, why cannot think of the word? Okay, ribbing, yes. So a lot of these patterns call for knitted ribbing, which, I mean, I love a knitted ribbing, but you know, if you are buying a crochet sweater book, you would think that everything would be crocheted in it. I think that that's probably the way to go. So just a heads up, a lot of the ribbings are knitted. You could certainly replace that with a crocheted ribbing, but I'm very excited to finish it, and I absolutely love it. It's super soft. Y'all, I don't even know if I remember what hook size I used. I really hope that I used the suggested hook size. This was also before I started writing things down, so I really need to be better about that and plan on being better about that. I'm using Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk for this sweater, and I really love it. It's super soft. I'm holding two together, so it kind of makes it a little bit bulkier. I'm also using Drops Melody. If you have never tried Drops and want to use these really cool fibers like alpaca and silk and things like that that can be expensive, Drops is a really reasonable yarn. I've tried a few of the different styles now, and I absolutely love them. So I will make sure to link the Wool Warehouse down below and all the yarns that I showed. But yeah, this is Drops Melody. I'm using that in a few colors. This color, and then also, I'll be sure to put the colors down below as well. This gold color. I think there's a darker, this color right here, which is also really pretty. This is almost like a bulky. That's another reason why I wanted to hold the colors together so that it kind of matched the same bulkiness of this Drops Melody. Another project that I have in the same bag is this tank top. I'm almost done with it, and I should have just finished it last summer when I started it. My friend Marquita got me this yarn, and it is so gorgeous. It's in a Netwake studio and it is the prettiest yarn. I think Lime Crush is the color, I believe. I've got the sleeve, so I'll be sure to put that down below. I'll also link her Etsy shop. I actually started a beanie with this and then decided that I love the yarn so much that I wanted to make a shirt out of it. I just wanted to make sure that I used all of it because I had almost finished the beanie and still had quite a bit of yarn left. So it is this gorgeous neon lime color, plus it's boucle, which is so pretty. So I've got the majority of the front done. I've just got this other side here to do, and then I haven't figured out exactly what I want to do yet for the back, but I'm almost done with that, so I certainly am going to finish that for this summer. And I did actually write this down, so I may do a tutorial for it. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how it all fits and how it all goes together, but I really love this one. We are nearing the home stretch here. Got my camera back. Hopefully this battery will last for a little bit longer. This you guys may have seen in my last video, and it's just my Tunisian crochet sweater. I haven't really gotten any more done on it because I'm still trying to figure out the sleeves, plus I have so many other things going right now. I'm using one of my shirts as a template to kind of figure out how I want this to go. I have to be kind of strategic about how I use my yarn because I am close to running out of yarn. I'm not completely out of yarn yet, but you just never know, and I certainly don't want to run out of yarn. So I'm gonna have to try to use my scrap colors strategically. I do want the sleeves to have this curve here, and I thought that that would look really cool. I may end up making this a short sleeve sweater. It actually probably just depends on how much yarn I have. So I'm gonna be working on that very soon and hopefully have a tutorial for you guys. But I really like the style of that sweatshirt of mine, and that's just a great tip in general. If you have a sweater that you already love, or you have a shirt that you love, a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, anything like that, if you love the way that it looks, the way that it fits, you can kind of use those measurements to give you a guide for what you might really like for a sweater. Now, it doesn't always translate exactly, but a lot of times it translates really well. That's really what I did with my super easy sweater tutorial. I just took one shirt that I love the fit of. I loved how oversized it was and kind of the boxy fit of it. And then I just took the measurements of that and then transformed it into the sweater. So that's just a little tip for you guys. If you are trying to figure out the perfect sweater for yourself, just find a shirt that you already love the fit of. Then you can take measurements from that and try to put it in to your sweater. Another one that I've had going for so long, and it's a pattern that I've worked on for a long time. Y'all, I have so many of these. It is crazy. I don't really have a whole lot to share with it, just this gauge swatch. This is the smock stitch in Tunisian crochet, and I made a sweater out of it, but I still need to figure out all the measurements and make another one. So I got all of this yarn to make a tutorial for it, and that's the plan, that's the goal. It's actually Paintbox Cotton Aran, so I had used Cotton DK quite a bit for like amigurumi and stuff like that, but this is Cotton Aran instead of Cotton DK, and so it's just a little bit thicker, but still super nice. I love all of these colors. This purple, oh my goodness, you guys, I love this purple. What is it called? Dusty Rose. Yeah, so Dusty Rose is this purple. The one I just showed you was Light Caramel. So it's a color block sweater, and it's got all these super cool colors in it. This is Lime Green, and then this is Slate Green. But I really want to have that also out for you guys this summer. Oh my goodness, I have a lot of projects to get done. Okay, I think we've reached the last project, but this I actually worked on. You may have seen my little short about it. I wanted to see how much of this I could get done. We drove to Denver, and it's about 4 hours from here to Denver. So I am making this vest. I actually started it for the Vestember make along, which was in September, but I didn't finish it. I did get quite a bit done on the road trip. I think the reason I haven't worked on it since is that I really have to think about it. It's not just something that I can keep going with, but I really love it. I used this super special handspun yarn from Melanated Boho Bay that I have been saving for the perfect project, and I absolutely love it with this sweater. I think it is so gorgeous. I'm super excited to finish. And then this is We Are Knitters. This is leftover that I had from my blanket tutorial, and I don't know if they carry this color anymore. I think it's just neon pink or something like that. It's a really pretty color, neon. And of course, here is the gorgeous skein of handspun from Amanda from Melanated Boho Bay. I mean, there's nothing like it. The most amazing yarn. I love it so much. She is so talented, and I love the color combinations that she makes. I love the textures that she puts in her yarn. I mean, I love it so much. And so I've been saving this skein for probably like 4 years because I wanted the perfect project, and I didn't know if I would have enough to do like an entire garment or anything like that. So I was so excited to kind of let it be the feature in this vest. I did write down everything that I did with this vest, so we will see about a tutorial for this one as well, but I really love it and I cannot wait to finish it. So that is a super fun one to end on. Thank you guys so much for joining me and finding out what WIPs I had. It was good for me to find out what WIPs I had. Maybe it made you feel better about your own WIPs because I have a ton of them and really need to get them going. But I really appreciate you guys joining me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!